Hello. Sorry about the interruption. Just going on to what we were saying there, Miriam. Then, from looking from your file and your case notes, and I know that coming to a new country can be hard, and also for you fleeing Israel, it was a difficult journey, and also it was a very difficult time being in the detention centre for well over a year. And also understand that was a very difficult time. But at the moment, let's just identify. We're just going to address some issues and some cultural issues just impacting you and also your family.
Yeah.
As individuals. We're just going to talk about a few of these things, including also looking at your husband's long-term unemployment. How has this affected you and your family, and how did you feel during this time?
Well, it makes it difficult. You can't live the life, I guess, that you want to live when the finances just aren't there.
Okay. And also, when you were there in Israel, how did you go with the political unrest and the conflict between the different groups there in Israel?
Yeah, it was very difficult. Just feel like he was looking over your shoulder. That's what it feels like.
And the economic and instability in Israel, how did that affect you as a family?
And again, that it just makes it hard every day-to-day living. Just hard.
Okay. And since coming to Australia, I understand whether in Israel your cultural needs of yourself and your family. Since coming to Australia, how has that affected you as a family group?
I guess maybe it's made us maybe even more together than what we were, because you're battling other cultures and trying to find your place to fit in.
Okay. All right. And how are you feeling now that your status here as a citizen here in Australia?
It's slowly getting better, I guess. Yeah. It's still hard.
Yeah. And how are you finding with your health and well-being since coming here to Australia compared to back in Israel?
Well, the health system is quite good here in Australia, and I guess better opportunities for better health.
Okay. And also I understand that the husband's the leader of your home, but how are you dealing with your impaired decision making within the family unit? How are you finding that?
It's hard to really explain.
And also, as you were saying before, that you have family still back there in Israel. I take it that they're your parents. How are you finding living here within the aged community, or aging here in Australia compared to back there in Israel?
Well, we tend to look after our family, whereas I've noticed here in Australia, elderly can be put in homes to be cared for, which I guess takes a strain off the family, I suppose. So that in itself looks to be a good thing.
Okay, Miriam, look, we're just going to discuss here just the inequality of the family, just in regards to your forced immigration, and how the impact on your family members as the family group, within being in the detention centre and then coming from Israel, having to flee from Israel and all that there. How do you think that forced immigration has really affected you, as a whole, as a family?
Well, yeah, I guess it's made us closer. Yeah, it was a very tough time, but I think us as a little family unit, it's brought us together closer.
Okay, Miriam. Look, I'm just going to provide you, I've left some pamphlets just on the table here. Some very useful information, and it's an understandable format in your local Arabic, and also it's in English as well, just about making some of your informed choices within our organisation, and we can also support any internal export referrals that you need in there and other groups. So that's what we do here at our Migrant Community Centre there. And we also have some other referral programs, mental health programs. Also, as I said before, we have a youth migrant program with trained counsellors, therapists, other family therapists that may be able to deal with your children or your husband or yourself. And they've been particularly trained within areas that migrants may have been through the detention and also fleeing war-torn areas like yourself in Israel there, and those particular areas. So those therapists are highly trained, and they every day they meet migrants that have come from areas very much like yourself in the Middle East, also Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Sudan, areas like that, and also a lot of African regions as well there. So, and as I said, was saying before, I've left the pamphlets down there, and that has all referrals and all information about the organisations that I spoke about before. And also we have the Brisbane City Refugee Council. We also have some Jewish community, and they have social and professional help, and we can direct your family to those if you like.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay. And as you know there, Miriam, that our organisation, we're governed under certain policies and procedures for community centres, standards and professional standards as professional boundaries, and in this way of acceptable and unacceptable behaviour, and also any unavoidable emotional attachment in relation to any of our clients and their families. Just to show that it can also be governed under that, whether one of our therapists or yourself, just within, we have some very professional standard when it comes to either receiving or giving gifts. Also towards out of hours transportation, we have a tendency not to look towards that, and also any monetary transactions. And also any other personal information that I might disclose. Do you understand all of that, Miriam?
Yes, I think I do.
Yeah, it's all contained in our pamphlet, which I have given to you there before.
Yeah.
Well, Miriam, being here in Australia, pretty much Australian, we generally support any cultural tolerance, and you may find many of our values in it. We're a very culturally mixed society here in our area. Many, however, express similar concerns about the social cohesion of our multicultural Australia, and particularly in our area. Some of the, and also you'll also encounter quite a lot of popular stereotypes about Middle Eastern cultures, as well as them. And also, as you know, Middle Eastern cultures have a very, very, a lot of influences, and also very, very varied in their, in a lot of their cultures, their values, and also their, a lot of their philosophies, and also religions as well there. So, and where we're being so remote, also those Middle Eastern backgrounds around here usually become very citizens very, very quickly. And a lot of those cultures do marry into Anglo-Saxon cultures from Australia as well there. So, and we have a very mixed response within our, a lot of the migrants that we see here. and we're publicly funded for non-English residents, speaking migrants, often supported as part of our universal program, available to all Australians. And as I said, with our Migrant Community Centre and Centrelink and all the other organisations, we can also put referrals to any of these groups that I mentioned before, organisations.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay, Miriam, look, we'll in our next meeting, and also after talking over with your husband and your family, we'll give you that time to be able to talk it over with them. We can also set up a meeting as well with your husband as well there to come in here as well. I understand there's some transport concerns at the moment that we may be able to arrange for your husband to be picked up where you're staying at the moment. So that way he's able to come, or we can also organise maybe a home visit, whichever's more applicable. And also we really want to try and fit into your schedule as well. I understand it's very hard to transition coming from the detention centre now into Australia. So we might have to organise some referrals. As I said, we do have a youth migrant program here that has a lot of affiliations with companies and so forth, and we do take a lot of pride with them in there. So, okay, so how does that sound to you, Miriam? Would you like me to get some of those referrals and external organisations, and we'll be able to talk to them, and we'll get as much information, particularly education programs. I know that you're already heavily involved within our English learning program that we offer here on Monday and Wednesdays. But how would you like me to go along and when I speak to your husband next about going through some of those referral programs?
Yes, yeah, that'd be really good if you could organise those appointments,
yep.
programs for us.
Okay, so thank you, Miriam. Thank you for coming in today. Also, if you just drop it to reception, and we'll just organise a follow-up interview for us to meet next week, and then we'll be in contact also with your husband as well to organise another appointment with him.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Wonderful.
All right, then. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming in today, Miriam. Thank you. Thank you.